But I'm very curious if there is any benefit of having a conflict inside the team.
Yes. And first of all, conflict would, the benefit of conflict is that it will bring to the table some conversations that we would otherwise avoid. Like whenever you think about conflict, when you are in a conflictual situation with your teammates, with your leader, with a spouse, or with anyone else, what happens is that you really need to have some really, sensitive conversation. There are some topics that you avoided, and because it was not that bad, and they were kind of still doing their work, but even though they're kind of hurting the morale, you just avoided that conversation. So when you have conflict and you reach from friction to conflict, then it at least forces you as a leader to really face the situation. So I think what happens with conflict, it actually introduces us to the situation. It's a reality check. So the one thing that comes out of conflict is that something to reach the level of conflict means that you ignore it a few times before. So when you have conflict, it means that you were supposed to make some decisions and you didn't make them, and now it's time to face reality, right? I think that's the first. We don't see that benefit when we are in the situation, but if we look back, right, that's actually the first thing. So it introduces us. It's a reality check. It introduces us to the reality of the situation. But before we get to conflict, there are other stages of conflict or friction. And this is what I call first is the challenging state, and second is the friction state. So when you think about challenging, if we use our diversities and our different backgrounds to challenge the way we do things, and we do that in the constructive way, and we talk about the process, not the person, and we're able to differentiate the being, the human being, from the behavior, and saying that was stupid, that didn't work, not you were stupid, you didn't work, right? So when you're able to separate those two things and you look at the process, then you're able to challenge the process. And the friction, it's always a good thing when you're able to direct it, in a creative way. So for example, think about going into a meeting, a team meeting, and you're saying, um, guys or girls, I have an idea, and you share your idea, and then and you ask, what do you think? And it's silence. What does that mean? Is it that everyone agrees, or that none agree, and they're not, willing to speak up, or, right? It's worse than friction. Like you would
Exactly.
like, right? So when we see silence, that, we say that silence in teamwork is deadly, is not golden. Golden is for you when you have stated your kind of idea or your point of view, and now you're silent, waiting for other people to share. But if they're silent, that's a big problem. So
Yeah.
although we might not want conflict and friction, we really actually need it in order to make any progress. Because otherwise, um, why do we need a team if it's always our idea is the best?